What's up, Bolt fam? Yeah, we Greg Roman is fired. Just got the news. Man, what a great day! What a great day! Yeah, man. Greg Roman. I'm sure he's a great guy. The Charger fans have been waiting for a long time. We needed a new OC. It's time. I know guys have been talking about Mike McDaniel. I'm not sure if that's someone Harbaugh would hire. Our suggestions of get as the new OC. Um, yeah, it's just a great day. Uh, can't wait to see what is next for the Chargers. This was the first step, and I'm glad to see that Harbaugh ripped the Band-Aid off, so soon. Um, because he could have waited. Honestly, he didn't have to do it right away, but they did it. They're thinking about the fans. You know, uh, so it's a great day for Charger fans. You know, we have hope again. This is the first step. You fire Greg Roman. It's something you had to do. I know Fahiko has been saying on X, that Roman actually called some good plays against the Pats. I'm sure he did. There were times where people were open. Lad got open. QJ, some guys got open downfield, and Herbert was just getting hit too often to get it to these guys. He was skittish, and that's where you got to get the quick game, get easy passes, and Roman wasn't doing that. He wasn't. He didn't have an offense ready to to get Herbert comfortable with the game. So he wasn't taking those big hits, and so that he wasn't skittish like he was. You know, so you needed to do it. Um, Harbaugh ripped the Band-Aid off. Let's go. Happy day for Charger fans. You know, you need to get this offense humming again. You need to get the run game going, which is crazy. Greg Roman couldn't get the run game going. I understand Hampton was injured. He wasn't there, but you still got to run the football. Um, you got to have a quick, easy game, which is it's so weird because it seemed like against the Steelers, Roman had that figured out, and it was like he forgot it for the rest of the season and for the playoffs, the time it mattered most. So really excited about this news. I'm sure you guys are too. Um, it's yeah, just a great time to be a Chargers fan. You know. Um, so what are your guys' thoughts? About this news. I'm sure you're happy just like I am. Um, but besides Mike McDaniel, who else do you want to see, um, as the new OC for the Chargers? This is going to be, a big job, a job that coordinators are going to want because you have Justin Herbert, one of the top quarterbacks in the league. You have a lot of weapons. You have Aronde Gadsden, Lad McConkey. I'm not sure Keenan Allen will be back, but Trey Harris, KLS, Quentin Johnston, uh, Omari and Hampton. You have so many weapons that OC would love to see. You just need to fix that interior O line, and this offense could be unstoppable, really. And you get this offense going, you, you know, and then it's going to be so tough to deal with. It will, you know. We are free. Yes, yes, Jay. We are free. We are free. Love to see it, guys. Love to see it. The shackles of the Greg Roman offense is gone. You just got to get a guy who. Hopefully, we don't get a guy who's like Roman. That's the worry. That you get a guy who's just like him. Um, but yeah, they all know we got to switch it up. Yeah. Oh, Chargers hater in the house again. Who's the next OC you want? Man, yeah, I've been hearing a lot of Mike McDaniel. That would be cool since he's creative. Um, you'd like to see a guy in there who has some creativity, you know. Um, so I'd be cool with McDaniel. What are some other names you guys are thinking? Um, let's see here. DeBall, Dable have to be on their mind. McDaniel and Dable. Uh, yeah, yeah. Falcons OC. Okay. Uh, yeah, yeah. Dable would be good. I think he would. He was creative. Some guys are just better as OCs than head coaches. And that could be the case with Dable. Same with McDaniel. You know, uh, these guys are so creative, but then it's time to be a head coach, and it's a different story. So get somebody who can spice up this offense, who can get our passing game going. Who can. He also needs to have the run game. And McDaniel has shown he can get the run game going too. Um, yeah. So let's see. Someone from the Shanahan tree. Yeah, everybody loves the Shanahan tree right now. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, Man, what a happy day for Chargers fans. After going through that tough playoff loss, we needed some hope. We needed this. This was the first step, you know, to showing that we can be. I really believe we can be a Super Bowl team next season with the right OC, with an offensive line. This team is complete everywhere else you look. You know, just get the O line right, get the right OC, and who's going to stop this team? We saw how unstoppable they were the first 3 weeks of the season when we had Joe Alt. When we were stomping on the Chiefs and the Broncos. So let's get the right OC. Protect Herbert, which he looked unstoppable those first 3 weeks. With all he had was a left tackle. All he had was Joe Alt, and he had clean pockets. To get guys wide open. So you get a center, you get a right guard. Um, yeah, I did say the first 3 weeks when we stomped on the Broncos. Yeah. Um, yeah, I was there that game too. That was a great game when we came back and beat the Broncos. They've never, Bo Nix has never beat Justin Herbert. So, the Broncos are lucky that they didn't play us in the playoffs, but now they have to face Josh Allen. We'll see what happens, you know? So good luck to the Broncos, but it's the Chargers time next season, guys. With the OC, you know, and Harbaugh knows what's up. He knows he has to get creative after the stale offense that we saw every week. He knows he needs a little spice to it. So he's definitely going to get a guy who gets the run game going, but you got to get that passing game going too. You know, and it's going to be interesting to see because Harbaugh likes to control the clock. Is it going to be a guy you know, who likes to control the clock like that? Um, Man, you know, I can't wait to see who it is. Really can't wait to see. And yeah, give me more of your suggestions. Who you think it's going to be? Um, yeah, uh, let's see here. What are your thoughts on Todd Monken? Um, yeah, I mean, obviously Harbaugh, obviously his brother, love Monk. Um, that that's tough. He may go with him just for his familiarity with Todd. Lamar had some issues with him, but Lamar likes to run more, you know? So I don't know. I would have to see it. You know, the Ravens offense was great last year. It struggled this year, but Lamar was hurt so often. Uh, so it's interesting. You know, it's interesting. I I think I'd rather go with someone else, but I would take Monken over Greg Roman. Broncos fans over here getting ready for a playoff game. Yeah, you are. Good job, Broncos fans. Yeah, you guys are. Yep. And Chargers. Yeah, we are getting ready for next year. So we will see you next year, Broncos. Yep. Um, yeah, Monken. Man, that Ravens offense was so good when it was on track. You know, they had Derrick Henry running the ball strong. It seems like they featured the tight end a lot with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. You know, we have Gadsden. You'd like to add another good pass catching tight end in there if we got a guy like Monken. Um, yeah, they do control the clock. So that seems like the kind of style Harbaugh would play. Do we want someone more creative? You know, even more creative. These are the things you know you got to think about here. Yeah, yeah. Broncos fans love to talk. Yeah. Well, you know, talk to us when you win a Super Bowl or when you finally beat the Chargers. You know, talk to us then because you guys haven't been able to beat us yet. So yeah, you know, see how that worked out for the Chiefs this past year. That's going to be you guys next year. Um, so yeah, let's see. Is Bieniemy available? Yeah, Bieniemy was great with the Chiefs. You know, creative. That they had the run game going too. That's uh that's an interesting that's an interesting thought there. Eric Bieniemy. I feel like he is coaching somewhere. Do you guys in the chat know? Is he coaching in college? You know, you don't hear about him in the NFL, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, you guys, Broncos did get the Super Bowl 3 times. Congratulations. Yep. Um, let's see. You know, I wonder if Harbaugh would go for a guy like the enemy though, because that was a high-powered offense. Um, it's like, does Harbaugh want to find a middle ground where he can, you know, control the clock and kind of slow it up a little bit, but still be more creative than a Greg Roman offense? You know, that's what it may be. Um, man, but it's exciting because we knew this had to happen. You know, you could hear rumblings from the players that they weren't happy. So a change needed to happen, and this shows that Harbaugh, you know, is listening. It's his buddy. He got rid of. You know, he didn't want to do it, but he did. So let's see. Or Cliff Kingsbury would be nice, especially after JD 5 rookie year. Yeah, yeah, I agree. He's creative, clean Kingsbury. Yeah, there's so many OCs that you know, especially off that Shanahan tree, that can really get creative, do some different things, open up the offense. We need to get Lad going again, guys. You know, Lad needs needs to improve. He really took a step back this year. You know, it could have been because Keenan was there. taking a lot of snaps, taking a lot of targets from him. You know, we need to unleash Lad again next year. So we need a OC who's going to get Lad going again. Lad even mentioned it. He didn't get as many opportunities this year. So yeah, yeah, it's a bright time. We have Omari and Hampton, who the Broncos passed on, foolishly, because Hampton's better than any running back the Broncos have. So Hampton's gonna crush it next year. New OC, new O line. We're gonna be running all over teams. We're gonna have a fresh offense to get Lad open. To get Gadsden, Trey Harris. All these guys are gonna get going next year. KLS. It's just going to be fun to see, guys. And you see it in training camp. I'll be there in training camp showing you guys the highlights. You see what these guys can really do, if they have a line protecting them. Just the explosiveness that this team can be. And you think about with the new OC and with the line, uh, it's a team that couldn't be stopped offensively. Honestly, if we have the right OC, this is a team that we saw in the Brandon Staley years. The explosive offense. We just didn't have a defense. So you want a middle ground. You want a team that can score 20 something points and you know um, control time of possession, run the ball a lot. But when you pass, you got to be creative. Uh, so that's what we're doing there. Think we go for a true number one wide receiver this off season. I don't think we have the. I know we have over 100 million in cap space. I don't see Ortiz and Harbaugh spending a lot for a wide receiver when we already have Lad. We already have these other young wide receivers. So I don't see it in free agency. Maybe if there's a guy available in the draft, but you're going to be wanting to use that for O linemen if you can find a great O lineman. If there's a wide receiver sitting there that that you really like, you know, maybe you get one. Yeah, I think a very big reason Greg Roman was fired was because how the players spoke after the game. Happy New Year, but still ringless. Yeah, yeah, I think that was a big reason, why he was fired, because because of the players. The players spoke up. They made some comments about Greg Roman. So yeah, I I think that's true. Um, I've seen some fans say they want George Pickens, great receiver. I hear he's a head case. I don't know. Harbaugh's good at dealing with guys like that. Tierra Tart was someone teams, the Dolphins gave up on because of some of his antics. Um, so Harbaugh can handle guys like that, but I don't see us going for a guy like George Pickens, who's a free agent. I think we go for Lindenbaum, the Ravens center. I think that's our top free agent priority, and it should be. We need a new center. Uh, you know, throw money at Lindenbaum, get him in here, stabilize that center position, draft a right guard, draft a swing tackle, and get a great OC. And the rest of even Broncos fans know then the rest of the league is in trouble you know if we have a great OC, a great O line. Um, who's gonna stop us? Nobody, nobody. So you know, Justin Herbert's still great. You protect him. Alec Pierce, yeah, he's a great downfield threat. You know, um, yeah, we could get another guy to stretch the field. I'd be down for him as long as you're not paying him the big bucks. if you can get him on a good deal, I because like I said, I don't see the Chargers spending a ton of money on a free agent wide receiver. Um, Not when you can be using that for O linemen right now, um, or maybe get another corner, something like that. Um, Man, it's an exciting time for Charger fans for sure. Um, Happy days, happy days. We were just talking about this yesterday, about the need to fire Greg Roman. The need to do it soon to pull the Band-Aid off, and and here it happened. So quickly. The Chargers have listened to the fans' voices and to the players. You know, so I, you know, I know. And as I was saying earlier, Fahiko was saying, Roman did scheme up some good stuff. He was showing video clips, and there were times Charger receivers were open, but if you don't have the quick game going, like I said, what good is it if a guy's open down the field and Justin Herbert's already running for his life? Um, so you need to have an OC who understands his players, understands what's going on with the team at the moment, and adapts to it. And that's something Greg Roman just showed he couldn't do. He couldn't adapt, and it's time for someone else. Be nice, like you said, for a corner, maybe even a safety to pair with Derwin. Yeah, um, especially if you think Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter is interviewing with all 8 vacant coaches, vacant options. Minter may be gone, so you know it, it's going to be interesting to see if he takes Clinksdale with him because the corners have been so great. I hope Clinksdale stays if Minter goes, but if he does, then it might be harder to develop these corners like we have been. So you're going to need another corner to go with Dante Jackson and, Still and Hart. Um, Yeah, and safety, Unk is getting up there. He's getting up there in age. He was great this year. We love Unk. But yeah, you're gonna need another safety. Uh, got Elijah Molden still there. But yeah, um, Mike Tomlin announced he's retiring. Really? Did that just happen? I haven't heard that yet. Wow. That would make sense after all those playoff losses. But crazy that's the end of the era for the Steelers. I know some Steelers fans who have been saying fire Tomlin for years, so I'm sure they're happy if Tomlin's gone. But man, our Charger fans happy right now. The first step, you know, we just the first step, but such an important step, something that had to happen right away, and they did it. They listened. So get the right OC in there, man. Uh, I'm excited really for this next chapter of Chargers football. You know, I really believe it's Super Bowl time next season. You know, it's time. We're gonna have the OC to do it. We're gonna get the offense humming. We'll have the defense again. That's great. Oh yeah, I just got the notification. Mike Tomlin just informed the team he is stepping down. Crazy, crazy. Yeah, it was time. All those years without playoff success. That's cool that they kept getting to the playoffs, just like the Chargers have these last couple years with Harbaugh. But there comes a point where you have to do something in the playoffs. And that's the point where Herbert's at right now. That's the point Harbaugh wants to be at. That's why he made this move. You get an OC who can score points. And because you can't go scoring 3 points in the playoffs. That's just not acceptable. So we're gonna get a guy in there who gets Herbert's confidence up again when he has that pass protection. You know, Herbert's going to be right, finding open receivers, putting up points. And this is a team that, Matt Money Smith has said, you just get this team one playoff win and they can get rolling. I really believe that. So next year, we get that playoff win. We win the division. We win the AFC West. We're going to have the home games at SoFi. The place will be rocking. Herbert's going to be scoring points. Defense are going to be lights out again. And we're going to go to the Super Bowl, guys. We're going to have the line to protect Herbert because that's the next step. They all know it. So let's get this ball rolling, guys. I mean, this is an exciting time for Chargers fans. Yeah, just put it out there. Yep. So we're gonna, man, I know we just faced that crushing playoff loss and that was tough, but at least there's a clear view of what we need to do next, and it's happening, you know. So we'll see. It's it's so exciting, you know, man. And it's crazy to think, if you're a Steelers fan, it's like, where do they go from here? I don't know, but the Chargers, man, great times for the Chargers. You love to see it. Um, man, just think of the Chargers with the Shanahan type offense, with Hampton running all over guys, with quick, easy passes to Hampton like McCaffrey gets, and getting him out on space, getting him to the edges like we needed against the Patriots. Um, because some of these teams are susceptible to the edges. Well, it would have been Vidal because Hampton couldn't go, obviously. But next year, man, next year we need Hampton healthy. He'll be ready to go. Alt Slater, the reports are that they'll both be ready by training camp next year. That they're doing well. That they're ahead of schedule. You know, so I can't wait to see this team with Joe Alt, with Rashawn Slater, with the new O line, getting the Ravens center, drafting a couple offensive linemen. That's all this team needs, and we'll be unstoppable. Let's get Coach Carter in at OC. He's creative and can adapt to any defense. Carter's Garden. Yeah, man. The future is wide open right now. Yeah. Let's get somebody in creative. Anybody, man. Anybody who can, you know, I don't want to see these simple route trees that we had with Roman ever again. These long developing routes, that get Herbert sacked when he has no O line. You know, get that quick game, get those easy outlet passes where like we had with Eckler, man. Say what you will about Joe Lombardi, at least Eckler was always an easy option. When the O line failed, you just dump it off to Eck. Um, we need to start having that as a plan again at the least. Uh, Next year will be ours. Haha, just kidding, Bolt fan. Yeah, I agree. Next year will be ours, guys. Next year. Um, man, what a time to be a Chargers fan. What a time. Ah, I've never been, I think, so excited for the upcoming season after, hearing the news about Greg Roman, about, you know, the limitless potential of this offense, what it can be to step up to match the defense. Um, yeah, and just being, a couple pieces away from seeing that happen with the O line. Uh Man, it's a great time to be a Chargers fan. Yep, we got to draft a few O-line, get a solid vet in the offseason. Agreed. Agreed, Coach Carter. Agreed. Man. And we all know it too, you know. We only have 5 draft picks. That's the tough part. The other tough part is not knowing if Jesse Minter would be back. And yeah, I would love for Minter to come back one more season. Seems very unlikely with all these head coaching jobs he's getting offered right now. Um, but that would be cool if he just came back one more year to finish the job. Just like Khalil Mack, hopefully comes back one more year. I think a lot of people are split on Keenan Allen, wanting him to come back or not. Uh, Actually, I think the majority I've seen is they don't want Keenan Allen back, which is sad, man, for the franchise leader in receptions. Possibly a future Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer in my book. But for the development of Lad, you know, uh, that's what may need to happen. You move on, just like you move on from Greg Roman, just like Mike Tomlin moved on. It's exciting times. It's time for change. Harbaugh saw it, and you do what you got to do. um, what else? What else are you guys thinking right now? Man, 110 viewers. Love to see it. Thank you guys for joining in here. Ah, this is just crazy. Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone here, having some trouble getting this